My name is Sean Wilson. I'm the Artistic Director of the Ottawa International Writers Festival, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all this evening. We're broadcasting from the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe. We recognize our obligation as settlers on this land to work to repair the harms perpetrated upon Indigenous communities and acknowledge the ongoing trauma colonialism has inflicted and continues to inflict on First Nations, Métis, and Indigenous peoples. I want to begin, as always, by thanking you all for supporting authors and booksellers through these difficult times. Our official bookseller is Perfect Books on Elgin Street, and we just hope you support an independent bookstore anytime you need to pick up a book or visit your local Ottawa Public Library, or if you're in another city, any public library. It's the right thing to do. Festival is supported by generous individuals like you, so I hope you'll consider making a donation. We can't do this without you. We've got lots to look forward to. Our season continues right through until December. Tomorrow at 7:30, we're hosting former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien. On Wednesday, we welcome Terry O'Reilly. And Friday's podcast features my conversation with Amitava Kumar on his remarkable new novel, A Time Outside This Time. I'm so thrilled that the festival is the home of the Bywords John Newlove Poetry Awards ceremony. It's a wonderful prize and just one of the amazing contributions Amanda Earle makes to our community. In addition to bywords.ca and the John Newlove Awards, she also hosts the always engaging Small Machine Talks podcast and is the fallen angel of Angel House Press. Let's give a warm virtual welcome to our host this evening, poet, publisher, and organizer, Amanda Earle.
Thanks, Sean. That's a lovely introduction. I always look forward to your introductions every year. Welcome to the 18th annual Bywords John Newlove Poetry Award. That's right, 18 years is how long we've been doing this and how long the Ottawa International Writers Festival has been allowing us to have the event through them. So thanks to them for all they do and for hosting us again this year. So as I said, we're now in our 18th year. It's a labor of love with a mission to cover the spectrum of words in play, imagination, and substance in the National Capital Region. Through our calendar, links, and news pages, we keep Ottawans and visitors to the city informed and about what's taking place in the realms of fiction, nonfiction, spoken word, storytelling, and of course, poetry. Every month, we publish an online magazine featuring poetry by current and former Ottawa residents, students, and workers. And thank you to the City of Ottawa for continuing to fund Bywords. That support is vital. Also, a big thank you to the Bywords Selection Committee for voting all year on the poems. Tonight's award celebrates the poetry of John Newlove, a renowned Canadian poet who lived in Ottawa for the last 20 years of his life and died in December 2003. Throughout the evening, you will hear poets reading from his work, and I'm going to start with Then If I Cease Desiring, which was published in his book Moving In Alone from Contact Press in 1965. I always start with this poem. Last year I mucked it up, so here's another chance for me to get it right. Then If I Cease Desiring. Then if I cease desiring, you may sing a song of how young I was. You may praise famous moments, I'll have them, of the churches I broke into for wine, not praise the highways I traveled drunkenly in winter, the cars I stole. You may allow me moments, not monuments, I being content. It is little, but it is little enough. It's our tradition to begin with music. So our musician tonight is the talented and amazing John Ian. In his intense, poetic, and heartfelt songs inspired by folk, rock, and alternative music, John Ian tells stories, observes, and ponders. Things may at times look somber in his songs, but never hopeless. Despite the sadness and madness in this world, there always is a way out of the darkness into the light. John Ian was born and raised in Germany as a girl and had to take some detours to get where he is today. Along the way, he was able to reach the third place in an international songwriting contest in 2006, as well as the semifinals of the UK songwriting contest in 2011. In the 2 years before the pandemic, he was performing live in Ottawa and beyond on a regular basis, usually as a solo act playing acoustic guitar and harmonica. So far, he has released 3 self-produced albums that are available on all major music platforms. Please welcome John Ian.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to be here. So, yeah, I'm happy to be part of this event and share a couple of my songs with you. So I'm not going to talk much because we don't have too much time. I'm just going to start playing. So this first one is called Frozen Ground. Her face so pale against the kitchen wall. I washed the lipstick off her glass. I washed the lipstick off her glass and I made the call. I heard him at the door and I ran out into the yard. He kicked me in the gut and I went down hard. And when he broke my nose, blood dripped without a sound. My blood dripped without a sound onto the frozen ground. It was a gray cold spring and I felt doomed. But today feels like Christmas morning in mid-June. And that gift you gave me made its way through, down the dark chimney that leads up to the roof. The promise of something good, something new. Change is just around the corner. Change is just around the corner. Change is just around the corner. And anything is possible in this crazy life. Like when I ran into you on that beach. Oh, tell me, what are the odds? Wiping spilled wine off the counter, her eyelids heavy. Somebody makes a mess, she cleans it up. It's all she's ever known. Seems like it's all she's ever done. She was just a waitress, just a waitress. And all those stupid conversations, there was no wisdom to be found in any of that, in any of that. Then again, how would she even know? How would she even know? She was just a waitress, just a waitress. On her way back home, the fake moon, nothing but a disk of pale light sitting there behind ragged shallow clouds. So I have one more song for you. For now, this is called As Long as the Music Plays. Bunch of broken pieces is all you can see. What you see is not even real. Come on a little, journey with me. Down, 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 down we go, down, 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 down below. Let's see what we can find. You gotta keep on dancing as long as the music plays. Keep on dancing as long as the music plays. You wanna quit, don't even think about it. He said, it's so easy to lose yourself or never find yourself. Gotta ask those questions. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Every year I always lose myself in the music, and when it's in person, I almost forget that I'm hosting the event. But it's harder to forget with the Zoom. But I did lose myself in that. And John will be back at the end of the evening for more of his beautiful music. The winner of the John Newlove Poetry Award has the opportunity to have a chapbook published with Bywards. In January of each year, the winner provides Bywards with a draft manuscript, and somehow magically by October, the manuscript becomes a chapbook, which is launched at the festival as part of the John Newlove Poetry Award reading. Thank you to this year's editors, Jessie Aubin, Margot Lapierre, Stephanie Masson, or Mason, I'm sorry, Stephanie, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Fiona Mitchell, and Rob Thomas. Tonight, Megan Mistel, last year's award recipient, will be launching her chapbook, Vestiges. This is the beautiful chapbook, Vestiges. So Megan Mistel is a writer. She grew up in Oxford Mills, Ontario, and now lives in Ottawa on traditional and unceded Algonquin and Anishinaabe territory. Her poems have been published on bywards.ca, Anti-Lang, and Soundbite magazines, as well as Apartment 613's anthology of Ottawa poets entitled, Could This Be the Last Time? She has had the great pleasure of being the recipient of the George Johnstone Poetry Prize in 2015 and the John Newlove Poetry Award in 2020. Megan graduated with an MA degree in English Literature in 2018. This is her debut chapbook, and Vestiges is available at the bywards.ca store. Please welcome Megan Mistel.
Thank you, Amanda, for the warm introduction, and thank you so much to the festival for having me here tonight. I'm really grateful to be here, and I'm honored to be sharing the stage with such a talented musician and other talented writers. So last year, I was pretty shocked and overjoyed when I found out that I was to be given the Newlove Award. And over time, those feelings fermented into ones of appreciation and humility as I dove deeper into his work. I'd like to share one of my favorite Newlove poems with you tonight, in his memory and in his honor. This is Warm Wind by John Newlove. The wet sun shines a muddy spring. Warm wind blows. I walk, content with the weather of our hands. What if the world does not end, and we are only stained shadows the sidewalk photograph? Today, I hold you and have a happiness that makes me human once again. It was while reading much Newlove and working with the incredible team of editors at Bywards that I wrote Vestiges this year. So I thought I would share a couple poems from the collection with you now, and I hope you enjoy them. This is The Way Love Makes You. The last thing I did was step on you. parts of your hair. Tufts of taffy and caramel that used to float languidly and attach themselves to my bed sheets, clothes, body, now insufficient ashes, torn from your small, fat body like tissue paper from a gift. It was the weekend after my birthday. I missed the fanfare of fruitless efforts, repellent and rain boots, acres of wetland and country mile, your name whisked away by wind, catching in cattails, a poor premonition. You were strewn across the lawn like Christmas lights in July, winking out. Did chunks of your chubby tummy rot in the belly of another? You were thick and vulnerable, the way love makes you. I can't pick your hair off my bed sheets, clothes, body anymore. Instead, I leave it be, present in my bed beside unexpected loss. This collision between presence and lack, between world and wound, is the jolt of an animal carcass against a windshield or under tires. A spider smeared beneath a shoe. The bodies of those we walk upon, benevolent and banal. We will never last. Continuity begs that continually we smash. This next one is called Marginalia in Retrospect. Your voice is a letter opener, breaking the seal in an envelope that was never addressed to you to begin with. The corner you write from looks a lot like the one you backed me into, the back of a cocktail napkin like the back of a hand, a line break once you've crossed it for the last time. You chop up my words to throw them back at me when I don't write to you, for you, about you. I take your own and collage the truth from beneath them. Once, you blacked out the words of my poem to reveal only the ones you liked, in the order you wanted, act of erasure, unwanted editor. Now, you pick and choose from every word I say, every act I do, to read only the moments that could reveal a subtext of flirtation when there is nothing there beyond the sign. You are no book. You are no theory. Linguistic trespasser, you are the gubbler. You are a slough of muddy city water running through the gutters of my text disgrace. When I wrote, I want to be the comma to your sleeping body, I meant our lives should remain as separate as those clauses. The semicolon on your wrist, an awkward punctuation, a failed connection, miscommunication, grasping to fuse two when no other way is possible. You read me. You thumbed my pages like you now thumb your nose. I wrote you, and I will continue to. Existence is co-authorship of myself, and you snatched the pen from my hand, inserted yourself where there was no space, wrote upon my margins in chicken scratch until the ink ran dry. You will not be canonized. And the wall of books that line my shelves, yours will not be found. I will rip your page out of me. Finally, the last one I'd like to share with you tonight is called The Eros of the Harbinger. Days weave in and out of me like a steady-handed stick and poke. Needle bleeding the skin of time as I am tattooed with signs of decay and degradation. Silkworm twilight spins jade and jasmine over cinema seekers' heads. In the heat of an engorged August evening, Majors Hill Park is a wax museum. Sunset, luxurious pink and purple scarf that snuffs us all, turns sweaty strangers transparent. Jaundice tinted skin dissolving into the warm vanilla yellow of beckoning time. In long light, if you squint, people are shaped like doorways. Sunset, Luxurious crescendo of brightness I wish your mother had more of. I wish I never saw the shadows in your eyes. I wish memory would cease its awful animation of us all, sad puppets. Sunset, luxurious summoner throws nothingness into sharp relief. Memories pass through bodies, like meaning through words, like you through me. Thank you so much for listening and attending this evening. I hope you enjoy the collection, and please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know your thoughts. Before I sign off, I want to thank Matt Hurtendy of Matt Hurt Design Co. quickly for his art, as well as my friend Ina Pimenova of Nova Captures for her photography. Thank you also to my friends, my coworkers, my family. You've helped me out more than you know, and I appreciate your support so much. And then finally, the biggest thank you of all to Amanda, Charles, and all of the editors at Bywords. Thank you for hearing the meaning behind my poems and helping me to turn the volume up on them a little bit louder. Congratulations to this year's poets, and back to you, Amanda.
Thanks, Megan. It was lovely to hear you read the poems that we've been working on aloud. We had a great time working together, the group with Megan. And also, also a mention too to all of those of you who pre-ordered Megan's chapbook. I still have a few more to send out, but they're going out, so I really appreciate that. So now on to the award. Poems considered for this year's John New Love Poetry Award were published between September 2020 and August 2021 and chosen by our selection committee. Our judge for this year's award was BC poet Ellie Crowley Gardner. So the first honorable mention was a local high school teacher and improvisation coach for over 20 years. She discovered poetry 6 years ago after a head injury dragged her into unexpected terrain. She thinks life and poetry are co-conspirators in the unraveling of things and is keen to discover what they are concocting. Her work has been published online in anthologies and print journals such as Geese Magazine, Rise Up Review, Dissident Voice, Anti-Heroin Chic, Bywords.ca, and others. She is working on 2 chapbooks and can often be found battling with both her brain and her biography. And we have something that we haven't had happen before. We have actually, one person has received 2 honorable mentions. So for her poems, Kintsugi Song, published in June 2021, and Duvet, published in October 2020, Kathleen Klassen receives 2 honorable mentions in the John New Love Poetry Award. Please welcome Kathleen Klassen.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I am so grateful to be included in this event, and thank you to John and Megan for your music and words. I'd like to congratulate the other poets and to say how honored I am to be reading with you all tonight, and to the Ottawa Writers Festival, the Ottawa Public Library for hosting, and to the library for the work they continue to do with providing workshops for new writers. I'd like to give a special thanks to Bywords for being the first place to ever publish my poetry, and to Ellie for finding my words worthy of this surprising honor. Duvet. Room swirls, violet whirls, open windows and dusk wafts, a garden bed. Plum honey twilight slides under blossoming, lavender dizzy. Plush bouquet, purple reminder, fill your cup with the night. In this next poem, the word kintsugi refers to a form of pottery in which cracks are filled with gold. The piece of art becomes more beautiful as a result of those cracks. Kintsugi song. Can you not hear her cracked wing? Music wrenched from song's beak, she is trying to feed closed-eyed hatchlings. She slides along broken bows like violin quivers, worm-wriggled and brambled to the place the nest rests. Soundless somehow, she vibrates, and notes float, open-beaked, gulping gold-filled scars, stitched back into careful trill, her bowed wing. So I chose the John Newlove poem that I'm about to read because I think everyone who has had the great privilege or challenge of driving in a Canadian winter will recognize some moments. And also, my parents are in the prairies right now, and I believe this kind of reminded me of driving in the prairies. Driving. You never say anything in your letters. You say, I drove all night long through the snow in someone else's car, and the heater wouldn't work, and I nearly froze. But I know that. I live in this country too. I know how beautiful it is at night with the white snow banked in the moonlight. Around black trees and tangled bushes, how lonely and lovely that driving is, how deadly. You become the country. You are by yourself in that channel of snow and pines, whether the pines and snow flow backwards smoothly, whether you drive or you stop or you walk or you sit. This land waits. It watches. How beautifully desolate our country is, out of the snug cities, and how it fits a human. You say you drove. It doesn't matter to me. All I can see is the silent, cold car gliding, walled in, your face smooth, your mind empty, cold foot on the pedal, cold hands on the wheel. Thank you. Thank you so much. And back to you, Amanda.
Thank you, Kathleen. That was wonderful. I'm listening to the wind blow my wind chimes on my balcony around as you're reading that poem. It's a great poem. Our next honorable mention is an Ottawa-based poet and federal public servant. She is the descendant of white settlers and Cree-speaking women. Though she typically spends her days writing web copy, she spends her evenings and weekends workshopping creative writing projects with friends. For her poem, Gatineau Trails, published in April 2021, Kara Goodwin receives an honorable mention in the John Newlove Poetry Award. Please welcome Kara Goodwin.
Sorry, am I unmuted now?
Yeah, you have to start over.
Okay, I'm very sorry. Basically, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for um, putting on this event, as well as a huge thank you for choosing my poem, Gatineau Trails, as one of the honorable mentions. I also just wanted to say a special thank you to my mom and my cookum, for whom I owe a childhood that is rich with imagery. So this is my poem, Gatineau Trails, that received the honorable mention. You say the woods, like the woods can be anywhere in the world. Used in this way, the outdoors becomes an all-encompassing monolith of leisurely otherness for char grills and picnics. Maybe you know how to survive outdoors, the whole world over. Not these woods, I say. These woods are specifically from here. All the woods are different. Trees everywhere are remembering. Where I was born in now Alberta, the forests belong to tricksters. They've been fought over many times, each caretaker more cunning than the last. Every place has dead bodies. Alberta burns its millions in a final attempt at genocide. Where Cookham retired on the other side of the mountains, the woods sing a rich, mournful song. Sometimes a big wave of sadness comes crashing through the trees who miss the ocean, but not that much.
In spots along the coast, you can find primordial ghosts glittering in the canopy. Not these woods. This trail was state ordered, carved through Algonquin territory to overlook the colony. The trail closes at night. We plod along hard earth, worn down by the thousands who have walked exactly here since the trail's inauguration in 1963. A piece of me lay trodden over the forest bed where we move as one beast with two minds about how we speak to ancient ears, how we trace the spine of a sick mother after we forgot to call home. My second poem that I'd like to read was recently published in Bywords. You can check it out, it's in October's edition. This poem is titled Waning. I say the moon is a waning crescent, and you say you don't like poems about the moon. I say the moon is a barn owl. Does that make it better? A waning crescent just is. I know you don't like me when I'm like this. You've imagined a metaphor I cannot live up to, and I think this is why you don't like the moon. I need it to feel whole when I am spinning. I want to take up as much space, fill the night. I want you to look at me like I am ancient and new, always a different side, both familiar and breathtaking. The planets are shy tonight. On the inside, you're storming. I know what you're thinking. Why can't she just handle it? And I want to tell you that no woman just handles it. We've all cried stupid tears and prayed at times for a big ship to whisk us away, make our lives meaningful when we ourselves cannot. The day I handle it is the day I leave you with nothing but the barn owl and the moon. The last poem I'm going to read is one of John Newlove's poems. It's titled Poem with Ravens. Dease Lake to Watson Lake, November 1985. And with a penetrating silence and with solitary gestures, an oil drum among the pines, and with good gravel roads, and with an understanding of itself that is not to be understood, and with pines, and with cheeseburgers, and with mock log cabins, and with real ones, and with an acceptance of the inside world that is to be understood, and is not solitary or a gesture, and with an understanding of light, and with pines and pines refusing to leave home, one bowing gracefully like a geisha, and with comfortable immensities, and with the quiet pride kidding the outsiders, gently and gently and gently and gently, and with pines and with pride, and yes, with snow. We must mention snow, where color itself seems a type of wealth, and with danger, and with pines, and with serenity, and with calmness, and with pines, and with pines, and with pines, and with humans, always with humans. That's it for me. Thank you again so much for putting on the event, for having me here, and apologies that I seem to remain muted 2 years into the pandemic. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Kara. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to do at that point, but I guess I should have said something. But anyway, it all worked out great. So thank you very much for your excellent work. As I said, the award is now in its 18th year. The judges for the John Newlove Poetry Award have been Gary Hyland, Stuart Ross, Aaron Murray, George Elliott Clark, George Bowering, Stephanie Bolster, Jason Camlott, A. Rawlings, Gary Barwin, Alice Burdick, Camille Martin, Matthew Rader, Kimmy Beach, Jillian C., Gregory Betts, Tanis McDonald, Dina Del Bucchia, and Ellie Kralji Gardner. The winners have been Norma Elliott, Melissa Upfold, Roland Prevost, Sean Moreland, Rob Friday, Marcus McCann, Winter Feddick, Rob McLennan, Jenna Jarvis, Rob Thomas, Matthew Walsh, Ronald Seater, Andrew LaFleche, Doris Fisher, Thomas Wisniewski, David Grew, and Megan Mistel. The list gets longer every year, which is a good thing. And now for the 2021 award. This year's recipient is a songwriter, performance poet, and the 2019-2022 Poet Laureate of Owen Sound on the territory of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation. His poems have appeared or are forthcoming in many journals, including the Fiddlehead, the Maynard, Barron Magazine, in the League of Canadian Poets Poetry Pause, and as part of Brick Book's Brickyard video series. His latest book is No Sleep Till Eden, an augmented reality multimedia collection of poems on the environment. He has written poetry on snow with biodegradable food dyes. He's read poems to earthworms, and he's composing a sound opera on waste reduction using garbage as musical instruments. It's going to be a lot of fun working with this poet. When not chasing his impossible cat, he uses guitars to make sounds not heard since the Cretaceous as part of an indie folk duo with his wife, Mary. This year's judge, Ellie Crowley Gardner, wrote, "In the winning poem's lines, I feel the kindred recognition of the ridiculousness of being human. The poet has lifted a regular moment into something both glittering and poignant that for a moment made me forget about routine expectation, order. This poem cleaned my smeared glasses and straightened my collar. Here I am buoyed and mentally reorganized to face another pandemic day." For his poem, Air Kiss, published on bywords.ca in November 2020, Richard Eve Sitoski is the recipient of the 2021 John Newlove Poetry Award. Congratulations, and please welcome Richard.
Well, thank you, Amanda. I'd like to, start by extending my thanks to the Ottawa Public Library, to the Ottawa International Writers Festival, to Amanda and the editors at Bywords, to the judge, Ellie Crowley Gardner. And of course, I'd also like to congratulate Megan on the chapbook as the previous winner. That's fantastic. Great to hear you tonight. And of course, tonight's honorable mentions, Kara and Kathleen. As Amanda said, I am coming to you from the territory of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, the Chippewas of Nawash, and the Chippewas of Saugeen, also known as Owen Sound, on the shores of Gitchinamowikwidon, Owen Sound Bay. I'd like to start with one of my favorite John Newlove poems from one of my favorite John Newlove books, which is The Cave, and it's called How the Weather Is. In Deep Cove, they reported rain. In the district of Coquitlam, the rain has started. In Burnaby, the snow is mixed with rain. But here, there is only snow and influenza. Wet coughing from room to room in the winter. I am winning large imaginary sums of money at solitaire, shouting, "That's enough, kids!" I want to have a good time, or to be good after being the fool. Mixed rain and snow, slush is out East Hastings way now, moving closer as the weather breaks, exchanging one discomfort for another, less so. The children are giggling on a chair together between fights. What can it be? "We're having fun, Daddy, just playing games," they say, surrounded by the world. So the poems I'm going to read you tonight are from the chapbook that's going to be published as part of the award for winning the winning the John Newlove Award. And it's the book, I think, tentatively titled is Book of Lists, because almost every poem in it is a list poem of some description. So the first one's The Golden Age of Country Music. The drawl was a panel wagon driven slowly at night so as not to arouse suspicion. The pedal steel notes were teeth in a smile that had lost the will to live. The hi-hat hits were coins in a sack once the bank account was drained. The nudie jacket had constellations that guided you so deep in the desert, the sidewinders sounded like Jesus. The trap kit shuffle was the scrape of shovels as graves were being dug. And each song grew fainter as we walked deeper in the pines. Snatches of music, little shots of nicotine as I took you to a glade the moon had forgotten. A place with no way out for crying brides or young men in uniforms with all their mortal doubts tucked between cheek and gum. And the next poem is called What I Bring to the Table. And it's what I offer as a partner, not my conversation, a collage of scraps overheard from restaurant patrons, not my mind, which, if a river is teeming with carp, not my will to live, once likened to a pickup truck that gets okay mileage, not my wind, abounding in gamma rays like down from a burst pillow, not my solar system with subways on stops you wouldn't get caught dead on after dark, not my feet, worn down from stopping the Flintstones car of my urge to escape, not the palms of my hands, the lifelines ending abruptly like a heartbeat when a stethoscope is cut, but my love, which fits you tight as shrink wrap, which fits you like a throat fits a scalding draft of coffee or a duffel bag wads of cash, which possesses you, holding you suspended like the notes of Let's Get Lost in Chet Baker's Broken Jaw. The penultimate is called In My 10th Life. Mother, born and buried in the same small town, thanked me at her funeral, but we haven't spoken since. Her loss served me hospital food in a backless gown, but she doesn't understand, could never take a hint. She doesn't know how frantically I grope through junk drawers for all that I could find. Elastics, guitar strings, lengths of rope to tie to the last 3 feet of the fate's red twine. Meanwhile, so my shrunken head won't swell and outgrow its flimsy laurels, Dad's on my chariot and yells, "Remember, Caesar, thou art mortal." And so I am, in a life where words between us are simple and direct, like what's going on in Las Meninas. And if you're not familiar with that Las Meninas, that's the most incredible painting that's ever been put to canvas by Diego Velázquez. Just look that up, The Ladies in Waiting, blow your mind. And this is the one that won me the award this year, Air Kiss. The sun behind the clouds is a child hidden in the drapes with feet in plain view. Happiness is manifest today. That couple, suffering each other on account of the kids, bickers like gulls, and it rouses my smile from a summer torpor. I feel no guilt. That's consigned to cults practiced by the sick. I repeat, nothing will eclipse my happiness today. That old man on the bench, he knows it. He reads hope in the tiger stripes painted by the Burning Man Guinevere on his granddaughter's face and thinks back to his own brush-cut youth, where each new day was a bike you jumped on and rode till the tires blew. The little girl hands him her kite, a tame pterodactyl, then bolts to the monkey bars, weightless with laughter. Would he sell me the kite, I wonder? A storm is coming and there's something I'm dying to try. All right, thank you very, very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the evening and some of John Ian's really amazing music. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Richard. That was wonderful, and I'm a great fan of lists. So the Book of Lists sounds wonderful. Bywards runs on long, long lists, so it's good. It'll be fun to work with you. So now I'd like to welcome our musician John Ian back to the stage. Please welcome again, John Ian.
Hello. Yeah, it's really a lovely evening. Great to be here. So yeah, a couple of more songs for you. This one is called Windows at Night. streets at night, and windows and light, and people behind closed doors. Their stories, who knows? The silence it grows. Things are never quite as pure as they seem. And I'm freezing in this ragged coat. Down inside me, something's about to explode. I breathe, I move on. In this town I don't belong. No memories, no pain, no regrets. Back then we were all the same, running barefoot through the fields in the rain, playing soccer in the streets, scraping our knees. Back then how long was the year? How long was the summer? How long was a single day? Back then I was just one of you, never mind the pink and blue. Until the change. Well, now I didn't need to hear what I already knew. I didn't need to hear what I already knew. So I punched you in the face. And that was the end. How long was a year back then? How long was the summer? How long was a single day? Back then So I'm gonna play one more song for you. It's called Let It Go. And I need the harmonica for that one. Somebody told you you're not good enough. A miserable childhood, not much love. The past is the past. It's past, let it go. The embarrassing moments, the red hot shame, the self-crippling thoughts, the sickening blame, 23 pairs of shoes, and 500 books, worrying about your weight and your looks. Let it go. Let it go. Doesn't love you back, the almighty dollar like a noose around your neck, the stories they make up to make you believe. Let it go. Let it go, 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 let it go. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to play for you, to be part of this event. So yeah, I guess back to Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you, John. That was amazing as usual. I love having music as part of our event. I love the whole evening. It's really wonderful. And John, I believe your website is john-ian.com, and you've got links there to your Bandcamp, to Spotify, and also to SoundCloud, so people can hear more of your amazing music. So I hope everyone goes there and gets a chance to get some of his music. It's really fantastic. So that's it. We're going to wrap up the evening now. Bywords, as I said at the beginning, is a labor of love. And every time we have this event, I'm reminded all the time, but I'm especially reminded. It's been really great hearing all of you. Thanks to all the participants to the festival, Sean Wilson, Jill Hawken and her team. Thanks to the Ottawa Public Library. Thank you to our selection committee this year, to all of you for attending. Don't forget to send your poems to bywords.ca. This year's judge is Toronto poet Jacqueline Valencia, or rather next year's judge. And I hope to see you all again in person at readings and small press fairs soon. And let's see, there's also, I'm being told by the library that you can sign up to get an Ottawa library card as well. There's a link to in the chat, and there was possibly other things too that I was supposed to mention. Let's see, just if I can scroll up here. On Monday, November the, let's see here, oops, no, I'm sorry, I've lost you. Anyway, go to the biblioottawalibrary.ca for the next event, Between Certain Death and Possibly Future, anthology launch in November. And there's also, that's through Quartz. So that's the thing that I was able to scroll to. Thank you again, everyone, and have a great rest of your evening. You can go to bywords.ca and click on the New Love link to see the results of the award again. And also later on, we will have the YouTube video. So if you want to pass it on to your those who weren't able to attend, or you want to watch again, because I will be watching again. Thanks a lot. Good night.